Hey guys, Optobags here. How you doing? As always, not experts, only opinions. That's what you're in for on this channel.
The Optobag way.
That is. We'll talk about that. Actually, we got a video coming up about the Optobag mindset. We might touch on it today, but be watching. It's coming. All right, so in our last video, we talked about disaster and specifically the Brussels attacks. So we're going to be talking about primarily what to do in those situations. How does one put themselves in a place to survive disaster? So we're not going to specifically make this the issue of a active shooter. We're talking disasters because active shooter situations are just a mass murder. It's a massacre. There are people with knives. It could be a gun. It could be someone just driving through a crowd with a car. It could be a fire in a building. It could be an explosion. It could be anything.
It could be a natural disaster.
Natural disaster. It's just anything where you're in a position to live or die. There's a book which I'm going to be making reference to, and I'll put it under. It's Unthinkable, The Psychology of Disaster, Who Lives and Who Dies. I'm going to make a lot of references to that. I read it. It's very good. I recommend you read it. But let's go ahead and launch right into it. And we're going to be talking about this. So, a couple things. So, number one, what is the mindset to survive a disaster? What do you say?
Well, I'm going to defer to you more because you've had more emergency response training than I have as a paramedic. So, let me ask you, in your training and in your experience, what would be the most important first thought? Now, of course, you have the perspective of someone who has to respond, but most of the people aren't first responders.
Okay. So
everyday people.
What I would say to that, and we were talking about this a little bit before, number one, the mindset, and I talked about this in the last video, there is a mindset of where it could never happen and it's possible that. In the moment of disaster, the number one mindset is it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So it's radical.
I can't believe it. How could this happen?
This is it.
Right.
The number one thing people always say is it seemed surreal with shootings. It sounded like firecrackers. You know, when you get called out, when you get toned out, when you're at a firehouse or if you're a police officer or whatever, you're sitting there and you're told, "Hey, here's what's going on." So when you ride into the situation, you're like, "Oh, I have a good idea of what this could be," or let me assume what the worst of the situation. So as a paramedic, the number one call you get is person down, unknown cause. Because everybody's driving by and, oh, there's somebody down.
Right.
What's wrong? I don't know, but they need help.
Right.
Person down, unknown cause. That comes over, you hear it, and you're like, oh, great. That could be anything. So the mindset becomes, all right, we're going into a situation. Somebody is down. We're going to assume right when I walk up, they're going to be dead. They're down, whatever. In the same way, I would think. I was walking my dog. This is a true story. I was walking my dog the other day. This was a few months ago, and I walked up on a shooting. I was walking her.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was over here by the gas station, and I was walking her. We were good. Then I got up to the corner, and I heard like pop, 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 and I looked and turned to my right. And there was a guy standing. He was in front of the subway over here by the gas station, shooting some rounds. And I thought, oh, okay. And I literally crouched down and I gave a tug and I'm like, come on, let's go. And I turned around and just started walking back home. Because I said, oh, they're shooting. And my presumptions, because I've gone through the scenarios, and I'm going to talk about them a bit, was I'm not the target. I'm just walking my dog. Wrong place, wrong time.
And you're not prepared to respond.
Let me just get out of this place.
Right. You didn't have a gun on you. You didn't have a med kit on you.
I just turned around and walked away. I had my dog with me. That's a liability. The number one thing was like, oh, let's get out of here. All I did was I corrected her. I was like, come on, and turned around. We walked away and just started walking down the block. Walked all the way down to the end of the block, crossed the street, walked halfway up the block over, and I waited. Are there more shots? What was going on? Pulled out my phone. I assume other people are calling. I waited for a second. I could hear sirens in the distance. And then what I did actually, and I don't always advocate, I started walking back towards there on the other side of the street. Why? The shooting's over, that person's run away. The safest place to be is the closest place where police are going to. So I walked back, waited across the street, about 14 squad cars pulled up. After the fact, I waited there a few minutes, and then I walked home. The number one mindset when something happens, fire alarm, pops, could be a shooting, people screaming for help, something that sounds like an explosion. Don't play denial. What does that sound like? Is that an explosion? Oh, it's an explosion. What should I do? Let me get as far away as possible, as quickly as possible, as safely as possible.
Okay, so
Number one, assume it's real.
assume. All right, assume.
Accept it's happening. That's what I would say.
Assume danger is imminent. And the first shot to be, the first thought should be, find safety.
Yes.
Okay, and the safest place is if you're not in the center of it or the target of it.
Away from there.
Away. Otherwise, where the police are going, where the police are, where there's
wherever
someone of authority or someone in control.
So there's always a place where help is at. Assume that that's the place to go.
Okay.
Now, I will say this, and this again goes to the mindset, and I'm going to talk about this in a few minutes here when we talk about mind games. When you walk into any situation, the question is, do you know the way out? So one thing I've taught my wife is when you go to a hotel, when you go somewhere new, once you get there, take the emergency exit out. Even if you set off an alarm, they're not going to catch you. They don't care. People do it all the time. Take the emergency exit out, find out where it goes. When you go to a hotel, after you drop off your... First thing you should do, walk out of your hotel, identify the first closest exit, whether that's emergency or standard, and follow it all the way out. And once you're outside, identify what's there, and then take a walk all the way around the building, right back to that same spot.
Right.
And you've already set yourself up for success down the line.
I remember you showed me that routine when we went to Nashville.
When we went to Nashville, we stayed at a couple hotels.
A couple hotels in
First,
each time.
first thing it was, we said everything. Where's the exits? Let's take a walk out. Where are we? And then walk all the way out around the building. If you have a workplace, have you ever taken the emergency exit out of your workplace?
Have you ever contemplated your emergency
evacuation plan?
Evacuation
It's
plan
on the wall.
that
Take a look at it.
Right.
Just look at it. 10 minutes of your time on any given day on your free time. Take a look at the emergency exit plan. It's posted somewhere.
Right.
Follow it. Oh, it might set off an alarm. Set off the alarm. No one's gonna care. Okay? And if they do, then you should not work there. Okay? I'm gonna tell you that right off the bat. I can't tell you how many places you go and people die, and it's like, you know what? You shouldn't have just been there. Walk out those doors, see where you are, and then take a full 360 around the block, around the building. Any crevice, any alley. Follow that building all the way around, because in an emergency, that's where police or danger will be. And if you know what that kind of looks like, you're one up ahead. So first thing, I accept that it's happening and get out.
All right. So here's the follow-up question.
Get out of there.
Okay. So here's the follow-up question. How do people who don't already have this mindset, have never had emergency training, how do they build a foundation for that mindset, practice it? How do you instill this mindset?
Okay. So again, just like when you go somewhere and you find the exit, there's a few games you can play.
Okay.
And you don't have to play them forever. If you play these games like a little mind game, something that you're going to do, and just give yourself 1 month. It takes 21 days to build a habit. So play it for a month. And I promise you, you will create situational awareness. And we're going to talk about that next. If you get on a bus, or if you live in a metropolitan area and you get on a train, play this game. Get on and count how many people are on when you get on. And at every stop, try to just count how many get off and how many get on. and then keep track of the number of how many are with you at any given moment. If you're on an elevator, you can play the same game. If
you're in a store, maybe managing a storefront or sitting in for a meal.
If you walk into a store, just count how many people you see and keep track of it. What that will create is awareness of entrance and exit. Okay? Because the number one thing that occurs, is you're a guy, you're standing at the urinal, you hear the door creep open, you hear someone step behind you, pop! You wake up, you're on the ground, dicks in hand, you're on the... What happened? Somebody walked in, you were sitting at the urinal, all they did was walk up and BAM! Right against the wall.
Thank you.
You're down, they take your wallet and walk out. It's real, it happens. The police arrive, they'll hand you a victim card. And it's the same exact description. He appeared out of thin air. I didn't know he was there. I heard steps behind me. All of a sudden I felt something. I woke up on the ground. It's the same scenario. We live in a world where people live like this on their phone.
It's so true.
And we're going to talk about situational. But the number one thing I would say...
when I'm in public, I try not to be consumed with my device, my tablet, my phone, whatever it is. I save that for when I'm at my desk.
It's hard. This is the world we live in.
Right.
But...
I don't even use headphones for music anymore.
Don't use headphones. If you can't hear someone behind you, you might as well just have your eyes closed.
Right.
But
I agree with
the number one thing I would say is count people around you. When someone leaves, deduct the number. To enter, add the number. Keep track of the number. So at the end of your trip, can you recall how many? Do it for 1 month. You will automatically become aware when someone enters and exits. That's the number one first game I would encourage.
Okay. I like that.
Number two, another game. Play the game Exit. And it's just like what I was talking about. Wherever you are. So right now we're sitting here in my apartment. You've been here. But let me ask you. How many exits out of the apartment are available to you?
In my immediate area, 2. And as far as exits to the street, 3.
I would argue you have 6. Because there's a bathroom window. Windows are exits.
Windows are exits.
The idea would be, how many exits out of here are there? Now, mind you, we are somewhere where if you dove out of a window, you won't die.
Right.
So obviously, if you're on the 14th floor, that's not an immediate exit.
Right.
Is there a stairwell that you don't really ever use? That's an exit. So, exit. So when you walk in somewhere, the idea, and this is actually, and I won't lie, so this is something I learned when I was in 7th grade, and we read the book Shane. If you ever see the movie, Shane, he rides off on the horse at the end. Come back, Shane, come back. He's dead. Okay? He's dead. He got shot. He slumped over.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Shane always would sit with his back away from the door so he could see who was coming in. He could always see someone coming in and out. And he would always sit with his back against a wall, if possible. And the idea was, if someone comes in to shoot him, he could draw and shoot on them. And if someone came in and he couldn't, he could always dart off away from the door. When you walk into a restaurant, when you walk into your office, where are the exits? Also, where are the entrances? If someone's going to walk in, can you see them? Or is your back to the door? There's a tradition technically in Japanese culture, or so I'm told, where the highest seat of honor is the seat furthest away to the door, because if a ninja or a samurai walks in, they kill you last. Think about that. Where are your entrances?
I never knew that.
Where are your entrances? Where are your exits? That's another game. Just simple. Walk in. Where are the exits? You walk into a restaurant. Where's the bathroom? Take a quick walk around. Where are the exits? Where's the kitchen door? There's always a back door to the kitchen. You always see it. Kitchen staff's got to go outside, pee, smoke, do whatever they do.
So we're getting a little compartmentalized. Anyway, so...
But those are some games you can play to build that mindset.
Right.
Now, the key to that is situational awareness.
Situational awareness. So that is the mindset to build.
The key to surviving any disaster is being aware of your surroundings.
More aware, you have more options, you can make better choices.
It doesn't matter if I'm 100% prepared.
Right.
If I let a criminal get 2 feet from me, I'm already done.
Yeah, I get you. All right, so we've kind of covered things to watch for, but is there anything else you would say apart from entrances, exits, people around you? What would you say you should watch for in people? Now, this takes, considering, does someone look menacing?
Okay.
Is someone nervous?
So what I'm going to reference here,
Okay.
and I don't claim to be an expert, but there's some really great experts out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to put the link on here. There's a book out there, Left of Bang. It's from the Marine Corps, their Hunter program.
Mm-hmm.
So it's essentially, it teaches people. There is a lot of good information. The Cooper color codes. Okay? The biggest thing that I would say is if you start playing these games and being aware, follow your gut.
Follow your gut.
So I have 2
Simple
dogs.
as that?
Simple as that. The reality is this. A lot of times, social polity, okay, being too good-natured, fear of being called a racist,
Political correctness
makes us constrained to action. I am not a racist. If I'm walking down the alley at 2 a.m. on my way home, I don't care what the color of a person is. If I'm in the alley at 2 a.m., someone walking down the alley towards me is a threat. It's that simple. There's no one else around. I am exposed to being victimized.
Right.
It's that simple. I should be aware of everybody. And the reality is there's enough white-collared Caucasian serial killers out there that if it looks like a Mormon walking down the alley at 2 a.m, I'm going to be scared regardless. When you are by yourself, and it's not a victim mentality. It's not a victim mentality. If you are by yourself and you are exposed to the potential of danger, you are in danger. Fear is a real thing, and it's meant to keep us safe. Okay?
So you turn fear into awareness.
Fear, when you suddenly feel like, whoa, like what is it? That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
You should be aware. We handle weapons all the time.
We do. We go to the range, we go out shooting, we go out hiking.
I carry knives, we throw tomahawks at trees. Sometimes, casual, like not being concerned, that's where people get in trouble. Fear of sharp objects, fear of a bullet going through you, that is what keeps you safe. That's what soberizes you to be aware that, hey, let me go through the proper checks and steps. Right. The best Navy SEAL out there, and I'm not a Navy SEAL, and if one of you are out there, please comment about this. The number one thing that is the key, you always go through the steps. There's a certain steps, you do it.
Right.
Regardless.
Right.
Every time, you just do it. And if you do it, you'll never go wrong.
Okay.
You can never lose.
So then, my next question would be, the average person, maybe they're not a prepper, maybe they're not an emergency responder, the average person, what simple preparations can they make to either be prepared or get to a state of preparedness?
Outside of mindset, standard precaution. So, do you have a first aid kit? Do you carry Band-Aids in your purse? Just basic preparedness. Do you have a flashlight? Carry a flashlight. It doesn't take a lot. Wait, well, is that Streamlight?
Oh, would you look at that?
As simple as it doesn't have to be a big flash. A mag light, something, a flashlight, a first aid kit.
first aid kit?
A pocket knife. It doesn't have to be.
What's that? A pocket knife. Oh, would you look at that?
It doesn't have to be something fancy. It can be a Victorinox. It can be a Swiss Army. It can be a penknife. Just, you don't want to carry that? Buy some EMT shears. Something that can cut. Okay? Do you carry a lighter? You don't have to smoke. The first thing I ever bought when I was 16 or 17, when I got my first job, was a Zippo lighter. I'm going to do a review. I didn't smoke or anything.
Right.
And it was just iconic. Everyone carried a Zippo lighter. In my mind, it was pure America. A lighter. Something to create fire. Something as simple as that. Do you carry a backpack? Carry a bottle of water. An Nalgene. Something you can refill. Simple things that don't operate on the assumption that it'll be there. Okay? To prepare yourself is not hard or expensive. A couple Band-Aids, a simple off-the-shelf first aid kit that's small enough to fit in your purse or your backpack, a couple Band-Aids in your wallet or your pocket, a pocket knife, a flashlight. They don't take up a lot of room. You don't have to spend more than $50 to buy all those things. Okay? A pair of sunglasses. Of sunglasses. Imagine a sunny day and it's bright outside and you're outside and there's a shooting. You hear about, you can't even see. A raincoat that you can keep in your bags.
Right.
Simple stuff. I always advocate a rain poncho.
And we do have a video of you doing your EDC.
Yeah, so I'll link that on there. Basically, a rain poncho.
I need to build up my EDC, but I mean, I carry a Leatherman multi-tool. I carry a pocket knife, sometimes two. Flashlight.
It's not hard to be prepared.
Right. Lighter.
What's hard is to be prepared and then embrace nothing happening. How many people spend money on car insurance? How many people pay renter's insurance? Or how many of you have a fire extinguisher in your apartment? If you don't, you really should. You're just stupid if you don't. But the idea is we assume the worst for a lot of things, except those things that could actually do us harm. And I would just say it's not hard to be prepared.
Right. So, take simple steps.
Simple steps.
First thing, consider one of these mind games to play.
Just play what
build
if.
A
what
routine.
If?
Right.
If something happened, what would I do?
Do the what if game. It's a child's game. It's easy. Anyone can do it. What if? You never know, right? So be prepared for anything. So, build a mindset. Equip yourself with the basics.
Basic.
If you have a car, like in my car, I keep a med kit, which we did a video on, displaying what I keep in there. But I also have a car kit with blanket, extra pair of clothes, gloves. Flashlight.
Standard jumper cables.
Right.
But then
right,
additionals
exactly.
if you got stranded somewhere.
Right. Exactly. I'm not gonna be helpless, and that is the overall mindset. Never be in a helpless state.
Yeah. Out of that, if you have any comments, questions, criticisms, put them in there. Like, click, subscribe, share with your friends, do whatever you want.
Maybe comment, what do you do to be prepared? We'd love to hear it.
If we missed something, if you think there's something that we could be saying that we didn't say, add it in the comments. Tell us. We'll do another video. We'll throw up the comments. Talk to us. If not, we're just talking to ourselves.
Hey.
Which we already
do anyway.
Yeah.
But
I don't like you. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
We're having fun doing these. We're having fun doing these talks.
Do whatever you want. We believe that being safe starts with you. Don't wait for someone to help you. Please, if you don't do anything else from this video, just remember, if there's an emergency, just stop, think about what's going on, accept it's happening, and get away from it. Okay? Drop whatever you're carrying, just get away. Nothing that you carry, nothing of value is more than your life and the life of those around you. All right? That's all we got.
That's all we got for this one. But more to come. We're actually trying to get ourselves into the routine of making a video a week, maybe two, a concept, maybe a
Let us know what you want. Tell us, and we'll do it.
Something, if you like our perspective on things we've done so far, drop us a comment what you want us to do and see what we can do.
Or don't. Just do whatever you want.
Right.
Don't do whatever we say.
All right.
Do it. Just do it.
But do subscribe. and like. We're Apto Bags. See you later. Cool.